cause things on ourselves? Do we have unrealistic things on what reality is, or what we are wanting reality to be? It really made me think on how much we just need to rely on Father. From experience, as we are all believers walking on the path, and it never ends until our soul departs from our fleshly body. That Father will chastise us, and He'll do anything that He can to get our attention. And speaking from experience, we have got to just trust in Him and just let this pride go that we have. And I'm talking about all of these different type of prides, not just the racism, not just politicians, I'm just talking about as a person with the pride of not wanting to what am I looking for? Sometimes we let the pride get in the way of our understanding of how Father can really work. We just try to do things on our own, and we want to try to rush things, and we leave Father out of a lot of things. And again, from speaking from experience, when things get tough, when things get confusing, when we don't understand Father or anything, we then turn away from Him, or we do things just based off of feeling. If you're in a situation and you claim that you are a believer, then this lack of faith, this lack of not praying, not letting Father handle whatever situation you are going through is a big mistake. It really is. Speaking from experience, He does not stop. He'll use anything. Sometimes He'll cause you to lose a job. Now, I'm not talking to anybody on here. I'm just saying sometimes He goes to the extreme of doing that just to wake us up. Sometimes He'll use anything. He can use a car accident. He could use a loss of job. He could use, not that He would cause somebody to, a family member to die because of you, but He'll use the situation of the sadness and the despair of losing a loved one to get you closer to Him. He'll take any opportunity that He can get to get through to you. So we've got to do what we're doing. We have to be a congregation. We have to talk to one another. We can't just go with the flow. That's not an option. That is just not an option. When things get tough, again, speaking from experience, so I don't seem hypocritical, when things get tough, everybody just wants to give up. We just want to run off. We just want to, not want to go to people that actually believe and Father, say, well, I'll just figure it out. You don't gotta, do anything for me. That's a problem. If somebody is really believing Father, you don't turn them away. You don't say don't do this and don't do that. If you say that you are a believer, then let them help you. Let them pray for you. Let them do what they got to do. But I'm seeing a lot of this stuff on TV and just things that I've had to deal with friends. They said that they were so-called believers and that they trusted in Father. And then the next day I'm hearing them complaining about, well, my mom does this and my dad does this, and I think I'm going to run away, and I think we don't want to face our problems. We don't want to face Father with our problems. And how does that work out for us? Not too good. So it just really made me think about what are our relationships with Father? Is it going to be strong enough to get you through that car accident? Is it going to, be strong enough to help you take care of a family member that may really need you, or your family that may really need you? Is that relationship, is your faith going to be strong enough to where you've lost everything, that you're still going to trust in him? Is it strong enough? Is it? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Are we still doing things? See, how I look at it and how I've talked with minister and rabbi and everybody else that's been in the congregation and that is in my family, we always have room for importance. So yes, it's good that you finally got your life together, and it's good that you're not doing the same things, but there's still improvement. Okay, so you may be patient with your parents, but continue to work on that. Don't just say, well, got it, and then start being disrespectful just because things get tough. Sorry, I thought I heard something outside. So we just really have to evaluate what we're doing, and we have to realize that if you say that you are a believer and you have dedicated your life, then you need to show it. You can't just say it. And that's something I need my younger audience to understand. The friends that I have had has lied to me and has fooled me and has made me think that they were there for me and made me think that they were believers, and they turned out not to be. And the mistake I made was I did not do my homework. I didn't do my homework, and then I got hurt. We have to reevaluate. We get so angry at our enemies. We get so angry at our family members for the lies, for the secrets, for the things that they are doing. But let me ask you a question. Is it you that put yourself in that position to be hurt? That's what I have come, and this has given me comfort, and this has helped me in the healing process of being a younger woman, is had I have surrounded myself with people who were truly believers and don't just go by, and this is what young girls do all the time, is they just go by what people say and don't look to find out things. I put myself in those positions. I can't really be that upset. Yes, they stabbed me in the back pretty hard. Yes, I really needed some people in my life, and they just left me hang dry, and they just left me in the middle of nowhere. Yes, that hurt badly. It hurt very bad, and it still does sometimes. But my anger has been lowered because Father has shown me, I told you, didn't I tell you to stay away from people like that? The reason why you feel different, the reason why you feel weird, is because when you are a believer, you are an immediate target of the enemy. When you are a believer, the LGBT community, you are a target to immediately. So that's why all of our believers get tempted by the LGBT and do things. That's why some of our believers stray, because they feel like they can't fit in and they can't do anything right, and they're just a mess up. We are putting ourselves in danger. It's not always other people. It's not always him and her. What are you doing? Did you encourage that family member to talk about your family? Did you encourage that young man or that young woman to do things that you shouldn't have done? Some of these men get these women pregnant, and they're so-called believers, and then the woman turns around and lies about something or tries to use child support to hurt them. And yeah, it may be, horrible that the woman didn't tell the man that she was pregnant and tried to silence him and try to be a feminist and all this other stuff. But had he have not done the naughty, had he have not been fooled by the woman's lure, he wouldn't be in that situation. See, there's always a connection to something. We get so angry at these younger people, but it's always the generation before. Do you wonder why all these youngins are going to parties and trying to get out of the house as soon as they turn 18? Because you as parents don't know how to be parents, and y'all keep this pattern of this broken household. If you're yelling and screaming and throwing bottles at each other, having teetotal fits, then expect your child to want to leave immediately. Then expect your child to run off with a young man. Expect that. A lot of the parents are disappointed in their young men. And yes, they have a right to, and they should be. But let me ask you a question. You as a father, did you sleep around with a whole bunch of women? But yet you get mad at your young man and say, oh, I have failed him, and I don't know what I did wrong. What you did wrong is you didn't show your son how to be respectful to women. Some of these young men don't know how to be. I have dealt with a lot of young men that really need to be taught something. I have dealt with a lot of them. They just don't know how to talk. They don't know how to act. There's no holding doors open anymore. There's no the true courting. It's just let's sleep with each other on the first date. Nobody knows how to be toward each other anymore. There's no real love anymore. There's just how many likes I can get on social media. You know, how can I make my chest look bigger and my lips look bigger and my backside look bigger just to be attractive, instead of actually wanting to find a man that's going to be reliable and supportive to you. You see what I'm talking? All these examples I'm giving is to show that we are the problem a lot of the time. Yes, we may have been hurt. Yes, things may have happened, but what are you doing? Are you encouraging the behavior? The women say that they want a valid man. They want a man that applies Father to his life. But yet they use this, well, he's too nice. What the heck does that mean, too nice? And then they go find a guy that is completely the opposite. And then they wish that they had dealt with the godly man. We're whining and crying and complaining and fussing because of all this child support and going back and forth. Why didn't you just close your legs as a woman? Why didn't you just do that? We as women have to be careful, because whether we like it or not, men are over us. We're going to have to get over that. When you were married, when you were living under the roof of Dad, he is over you, whether you like it or not. Whether you want to admit this, we are the more sensitive gender. That's how Father created us. We are more sensitive because we are supposed to be, according to the Scripture, the more nurturing side. Now, yes, the fathers are all supposed to be nurturing and disciplining the children and making sure everybody's okay in the house. But the woman's job is while the man is working to provide for the family, she is supposed to keep her promise and to keep up the house right and to be nurturing and help the children if they need help. But you know what we're doing instead? We're talking about being feminist and I don't want no man over me and all this other stuff. wow. You know, it's not a bad thing to be a woman that is not working. But people try to make it seem like we're less just because we don't have a job yet, just because we may still live with our parents. You see how society, the world, tries to make it seem like something's wrong with that? And then you wonder why we have so many feminists. It's because we're just really hurting ourselves and we're hurting other people. Words sometimes can hurt more than somebody physically hurting you. Sometimes people messing with the mind can be so detrimental that you wind up killing yourself because you're not surrounding yourself with people that love Father, and you're not giving Father all of the pain. We just want to hold all the pain in, and we don't want to let, everybody know how we're feeling. And I understand that when it comes to people that are not trustworthy. But a congregation, ministers, teachers, mothers, fathers, aunties, all the ones that you know are trustworthy, those are the people you're supposed to open up to, but we just want to hold everything in. And again, I am speaking from experience. I did that when I was younger. And I'm sure a lot of us have done that. I know I'm not the only one on here who did not want to admit something. I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not. I know we've all come to a point where we didn't want to say something because we didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Or, we were trying to do something. But a lie is a lie and a sin is a sin. If we would just let go of the pride, if we would just talk to each other and actually feel like being a family for once and stop worrying about all this other frivolous stuff, then we'd be all right. So before we complain and we cry and we talk about each other and we just diss each other and we just silence each other and the hating and all that, we need to continue to keep ourselves educated in everything. When we don't know something, that is not the time to act like you know something. If you don't know something, you need to admit it so the conversation will go quicker. It won't be stuck on somebody trying to figure out if you're lying or not in a conversation. Sometimes we feel like, well, why are they always saying this and why are they always saying that? Because you're not living right. Especially my young people. They don't want to hear anything that the parents have to say. Well, my dad's always saying this. My mom's always saying this. She's always saying my clothes this, my clothes that, my hair this, my hair that. She won't leave me alone. She's always checking my phone, always checking my emails, always checking this, always checking that. Well, because when you are underage, you are their responsibility. And with all the craziness that these people are doing on the internet, and all this other stuff, they have a right to do what they're doing, and they're trying to shape you into being a better person. A parent who is always on a child, that's the best parent right there. As I have gotten older, I have really learned to appreciate my parents more and more, and they have done a lot for me, and then they have done the best that they possibly can, and I'm happy with that. I don't need a $200 headphones. I don't need gifts. Now, I don't mind if I receive them, but I'm not going to turn them down. I don't need expensive things. What I need is a father. What I need is a mother. What I need is a family. What I need is that they just continue to do the best that they can. That's it. That's what makes me happy. What I need is when I'm at my lowest and I have nobody else to talk to, well, except for a father, but I mean physically. I need my parents to be there for me, and they are. I need parents that I don't have to worry about I say something to them, and they tell everybody everything. I don't have that. Now, I'm not saying that, my family has done no wrong and we're just this perfect family. We've had our struggles, but we are a strong family that doesn't give up, that wants to do the right thing and wants to get better with communication. Each family will always have something to work on. But my family is willing to find joy in the hard times. My family is willing to come together when one is down. To me, that is better than money. That is better than a gift. The love is what is more important. And that's what I want my young people to understand, and other people too. Really appreciate what your parents are doing. If they can't afford something, don't bother them. Don't make them feel bad about it. But some of these parents feel bad that they can't do more for their children. But don't make your parent feel more bad. So we really gotta reevaluate how we're thinking. Are you really a believer? Are you still cursing? Are you still listening to music that you probably shouldn't be listening to? Again, I am speaking from experience. I tried to do that, and Father wasn't happy with me, and I got hit hard. I was once young, and I once made foolish decisions. But you know how to make yourself a better person? We start learning from our mistakes. I learned from all the mistakes that I have made in my life. Boy, and I've made a lot of them, a lot of bad decisions. But because of my family and because of Father, I have been such a stronger person. Because we as a congregation are really taking things serious. Look at how we're able to laugh with each other. We're getting understanding in the scriptures. We got to keep this up because there's a pandemic going on and there's a lot of depression going on. Right now is not the time to stray by ourselves. Right now is not the time to be prideful and withhold something. Like if you're losing a job, you need to tell your family. And this I'm talking with younger people because they want to move out of the house. And when they start losing a job, just to have this appearance of their parents that I can do it by myself, wind up having to suffer on the street instead of going back home. Let me tell you something. Living on the street right now, just because you don't want to be under a man, now is not the time. Now is not the time. Yes, when we are believers and true believers, Father keeps away plagues, but we need to still be careful at the same time, though. Don't just go out there careless. Now is not the time to have baby mama and daddy issues. Now is not the time to be fighting it in the street over stuff. There's been 2 cases that I've seen and more of a black man that tried to break up a frivolous fight, and guess where he's at now? In the grave. See? Now is not the time to be fighting and doing all this foolish stuff. It's not. Now is not the time to stay angry at each other. Now is the time to come and fight together, not by ourselves. So I know I probably strayed off a little bit of the conversation, but when you were talking, it just really made me feel Father. It made me, think about things, how people need to reevaluate things, and how we just need to calm down. We need to calm down. Calm down. Sit down. Think. Take some time off. Just think for a minute before you open your mouth and get into trouble. Anyway, I'm sorry. I will let somebody else go now.
Let me just say right up front, that was the Spirit of Father speaking through you. You did not stray. He wanted you to be yielded to Him So we could hear your voice, but we were really hearing Father. So I thank you for being obedient and not trying to hurry it up, but yielding to Father so he could have his way. So thank you very much.